Hey, we are back. Apologies for the cutoff of the first video about getting this high pressure power steering hose out. I accidentally touched it with my arm and it turned it off. But I got so engrossed in trying to take that off, this end ended up not being as easy as it was on that side. So I'm gonna shine some light down there so that you can see where I'm at. I need to get this part on video because I'm going to show you on the whiteboard what we're dealing with. Okay. Okay, you can see back there that there is a line going into the frame. See if I can get a better picture of it. Let's see, oil pressure sensor. Well, back there, there's a spot where you saw the high pressure hose disconnects. That's the part I'm changing. But if you look clearly, the little part that you're seeing that's supposed to have something plugged into it goes down into the frame and plugs into the rack itself. I'm gonna see if I can try to move it so you can see what's going on. See that? That piece. It's so loose, I know it's leaking from there. And you can't get that through the top. So we can put the new hose back on it, but back out. It's going to leak from the top of the rack and pinion. The whole purpose of doing this job is to stop the leaking, so you'd have to start adding fluid to it. So I'm taking you to the whiteboard to show you what's been done and what has to be done. I'll lift it down a second. Okay. So this is what we're dealing with. This is the engine. This is where the power steering was. This is the pulley. The red square right there was the actual oil filter, which you are correct. The oil filter is a booger to get to. So if you want to change your oil filter while we're at it, I had to pull it off in order to get to this line right here. Oops. And so the way this line is set up, this is the power steering. It's plugged into the bottom of the power steering, but so close to the pulley that the pulley has to be removed. So we had to take off the pulley. So once we removed the pulley, we had access to the nut to be able to unscrew it and get the line off. But there's so much, so much cramped space on there. I couldn't get a regular size wrench to. Well, I was using a tube wrench, and it's like regular length, like a regular size wrench, and there's no way to swing it around to crack it loose. So what I did was I took off the power steering unit itself from the block. So I took that away, and I still couldn't get the line off while the power steering unit was in the car. So what I did was I cut it there, and I cut it here, unbolted this from the car. So we took this out, and then all we had is this. So once I had it this short, I got the 10 millimeter ratchet wrench and got the two screws up on top. I got a ratchet with the 10 millimeter deep socket, and I got the back 10 millimeter nut. And then the line comes. This is not an accurate drawing, but the line is right next to the 10 millimeter one here. It's just far away to get it in the between the bolts so that you can crack it loose. But as you're loosening it, the power steering unit drops away from the engine. So I'm trying to show you So we got this out and this portion of the line out. So I have a video where I got it on the vise. So I had an idea on how to get that piece off without stripping it, and to be able to reuse our power steering pump. So now we have this left in the car. So on the new power steering line, this is where it attaches. I was in the car for at least 2 hours trying to get this section off, and I finally got it off. So now we no longer have that part of the line. The whole high pressure line is out. And once I got it out, I noticed that there's this fitting here where the high pressure line plugged into, and the metal line that goes down in here, and it goes through this hole that's on the frame. And once it goes down, it's about right here in the frame. No way to get to that bolt, because what we have to do is switch this out. And I just showed you on the car itself that this is like, it's moving back and forth really freely, and I know it's leaking from there too. And so this piece right here has to be replaced. But in order to get to that piece, this looks identical on this side. So this 22 millimeter bolt has to be broken loose, and that 22 millimeter bolt has to be broken loose. The steering column has to be unplugged from the rack and pinion so that this can drop, and this is going to come through the hole. It doesn't really look like that. It'll, when it's turned this way, it'll drop right through the frame, no problem. And once the rack and pinion comes down, then I can crack this bolt loose. So there's more to it than just getting the high pressure line off. And and to make more room, we removed the oil filter. In this blue area, that's the motor mount. I forgot to, but you get the picture. So this all has to come down. So in order to get this piece, it's going to be a lot more labor. So I just wanted to, give you a more or less clear of what's going on in the car. To if you want me to replace that line or not, that line is probably a dealer item. I don't know if they're gonna have something this old, or maybe we can get another line made for it. But either way, that line's leaking and it has to be replaced. So I just need the green light in order to do the further process than just the high pressure power steering line. So I'm going to upload this video. I'm sorry it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And that it was only the line. I guess it was leaking in various in more than one spot. And but we got the hard part out of the way. The high pressure line's out of the way. It's just now I have to go further than that. And I haven't even got to the windows yet. And yeah. So you see that ended up being a big job, and it's not fun. So I'm going to upload this video, and give me a call around when you get it, and let me know if we got the green light. Alrighty. Thank you, sir.